Following is an archive podcast presented by the Branson and Hudson Foundation for Podcast Recovery to benefit the Restaurant Workers Community Foundation. This podcast is entitled Limited Edition. It is the first and only episode of the podcast. Welcome to episode 1.
Yo, hey everybody, what's up? Welcome to Limited Edition. We got so many cool people here. We got so much cool stuff to talk about. I'm just super pumped and I'm ready to just get this rolling. So I'm hoping you guys aren't a little bothered by my energy because I'm just ready to go. I'm Roland Girlmouth. I'm a comic book artist, comic book writer, big fan of the culture, big fan of the fandom, just in general. Lots of cool stuff to talk about. I almost want to just dive right into it. But let's go ahead and introduce everybody, and we'll just get this thing started. I'd like to thank my guests here today. First up, Dick Wimpley. Dick, so glad to have you. Tell us the fans a little bit about what you do.
Thanks so much for having me on. It was a great honor to talk to you, of course, and join my fellow creators here in this forum for this is kind of like a forum for talking, and I really appreciate being invited to it. I'm not used to talking. I'm more of a writer. I write different comic books, different properties. Previously, I've worked on the Doctor Who franchise, their adaptations, and currently I am working on the Infinite Jest comic book, which is hopefully coming out sometime this year after coronavirus. The coronavirus.
Oh, coronavirus. He said
that. No. That's like saying Voldemort.
You said it.
Oh no!
I think the coronavirus is Voldemort. I don't know if I'm the first one to make this observation.
Let's keep moving around and get everybody introduced. I'd also like to thank Timmy Southpark. Timmy, thank you so much for coming.
Hello, I'm Timmy Southpark, world-renowned pensmith, sculptor of the written word. And yes, before you ask, my parents did in fact name me after the disabled child from the South Park TV show. But bear in mind that when they named me, that this show was an Americana classic with a respectable average IMDb rating of 8.6, as opposed to the paltry 7.8 it holds today after jumping the shark, as it were. And, my latest release, the Snarky Introvert's Guide to Crafting Epic Narratives Like a Boss, has been available for purchase since 2013, and I would suggest giving that a look today.
It is freaking awesome. So anyone who hasn't read that is a fucking moron. JK. All right, moving along. My boy, Dusty Picard. How are you? Hello. Tell everybody. How you doing? I'm so happy to see you.
Hello. I'm great. You know me. I'm always having a good time. I'm Dusty Picard. Got my YouTube channel. I'm a voice actor, and I am an impressionist. Major lover of dork stuff, nerd stuff. If you give me an impression, I could probably do it or give my best shot at it. Kind of just my thing. So, what's up, guys?
We're definitely going to be bothering you about that later, Dusty. I tell you what. All right, moving on to the last
epic times
guy.
Ahead. Or what I'm saying.
Legend.
Epic times ahead.
I'm a little scared.
Harry.
It's going to get very weird here.
Oh,
who's that?
I believe that was Dracula?
I'm sorry?
Let's move on to Chespin Cripper. Chespin, what's up?
My name is Chespin Cripper. I would like to say for the record, I got every single reference so far this episode. I've been a lifelong fan of just about, everything from Star Trek to Star Wars. I've been a fan of it. I'm a little bit newer to this writing thing than the rest of you guys. I'm trying to make my way, kind of doing the fanfic stuff. I'm looking for my big break. But I think what separates me from most of the people in this business is I'm first and foremost a fan of Funko Pop. That's my number one, and that's every fandom is second to that. So when I'm thinking about Batman, I'm thinking about Funko Batman. So a lot of my fan fiction, a lot of what I'm trying to do, when you hear about these characters I'm talking about, it's Funko Batman, it's Funko Superman, it's Funko George Lucas. That's really kind of what distinguishes my style of writing.
Well, let's clarify a little bit of that, Chespin. So it's kind of like, there's Lego Batman, and Lego Batman has his own stuff. This is sort of like a third thing of featuring Batman.
It's true. I did see that Lego Batman movie, and I thought, what if I did that with Funkos? But this is a completely different thing. I mean, you've never seen anything like this before.
Well, yeah, I mean,
unless you read my fan fiction. But.
Well, I have at least. I can't speak for everybody, but it is definitely something that I have thoroughly enjoyed. I still am not quite grasping the world at large that you write about. Simply because, well, like everything's a Funko Pop except you write yourself in it and you're not a Funko Pop.
Yeah, well, these characters will find themselves in strange situations that a normal character might not. So, like, think about Winnie the Pooh. I mean, that was one of my first fandoms, really, when I was younger. There's that one where Winnie the Pooh gets his, like, hand stuck in the fucking honey jar.
Iconic.
In this one, he gets his head stuck in the honey jar because it's so big because he's a Funko.
Oh, okay, I see.
Completely different. It's like a spin on an old classic. I like revisiting these old characters and finding new ways to Funko-tize their lives.
It's kind of like a nightmare, because if you got honey on your real-life Funko Pop, of course, it would not be fun to look at anymore or play with.
The value would plummet.
Tremendous. Oh, Piglet, I love honey.
Oh, I get that reference.
That's Winnie the Pooh right there.
I knew that one.
I felt like that was straight right off the bat there. He's coming with it. Dusty, why don't you get us a little bit warmed up? Tell us about the stuff you've been working on, what your dream projects are. What is going on in the world of Dusty Picard?
Like it's just kind of just the same old. I'm doing, about 100 videos a week, mostly impressions or talking about cartoons, which are, intended for children mostly, but, they're not just for children, anyone can watch them,
Yeah. There's nothing about animation that says that it's specifically
a lot
for
of
children.
the cartoons
I would like to
hidden
counter
meanings in them because they are actually written by adults, such as ourselves.
I've been working my way through the Powerpuff Girls again. Some people like to rewatch The Sopranos or, The Office, which I love as well. But, for me, it's
if you love The Office, check out Parks and Recreation.
I do know it. Actually. The great show, Liz Lemon. Awesome. And I want to talk about, where are we at as fans? Is it enough for us, or are we just wanting more and more and more? And I think that a lot of the stuff, people were writing a lot more fan fiction, I feel like, or maybe they still are, but I feel like that we used to create more when we needed it, but now we're just getting a lot of content, and I mean, I'm not complaining at all, but I feel like where are people at? What's enough for them? And I'm not sure if that there is enough, because we just consume it all. It's like our drug.
Well, yeah, I mean, if you talk about like a lot of fandom, you're talking about just rapid amounts of consumption without breaks. So I know as a creator, it can be a little bit stressful and make me a little bit anxious when I put some of my work out there, because you're going to work all this time on a comic book and people are going to read it, in 45 seconds most of the time. So it's just, you can work and work and work and pour your heart into it, but there is a lot of stress and anxiety that comes from that.
I have a question for Dusty, which is that you do a lot of impressions. You do impressions of the main character from Steven Universe, things like that. However, as you were saying, you also enjoy the creative arts. Have you ever created your very own original voice?
I mean, you had to ask me that, didn't you?
Oh, here it goes. I'm ready.
I have a character that I've worked on for many years since I was a young lad.
Hamlet.
In high
King
school
of England?
Hamlet. Johnny Hamlet from the movie Hamlet.
No.
I was close.
Not. When I was in high school, I created a character named Ronald Spector, and he's kind of like a detective secret agent, but he's also, really, really into origami, and he's also, he's into tennis. And it's like, this guy's like really serious and like solving murders and stuff. And he's like, oh, that's a nice court. Like, maybe I could play a few games and like stuff out.
I wish cops in real life were like.
He always has his racket. Well, he's not really.
Like,
I mean,
dirt bikes and.
Ronald Spector.
Could we hear his voice? Maybe.
I mean, do you want to hear his voice?
I'd love to.
Give us a bit of a taste. Give us a taste.
Okay. It's been a while since I've done this, and someone asked me to do this. So, I'm Ronald Spector. In this case, stinks to me.
Oh,
that's just a taste.
That really is something. I tell you what, that voice there, iconic.
And
I recognize that voice. That's Dick Tracy, the famous detective Dick Tracy.
Well, lady, I'll solve your husband's murder, but first you gotta give me something that I want. I need a new tube of new tennis balls.
It's really good. It's a really good character you got there, Dustin.
Yeah, I think so.
Martin.
I've been trying this out to Cartoon Network for about 10 years.
Yeah, I was gonna say, have you gotten any bites on that? As an aspiring writer, I'm curious if you've had anyone bite on Mr. Spector there. Maybe you put together a spec script.
There was someone that was interested, but he's now in prison.
Moving along.
It's often hard to sell
Not good.
just a voice to the big studios. What the studios like to see is a comic book.
Or a narrative. Speaking of which, Dick Wimpley, are you going to dish on your newest projects? We got to
Big
hear
fan,
some
come
dish.
on. You got to load it on me. I need it.
Oh,
Begging.
thanks. I'm so embarrassed. I'm so embarrassed. Well, as you know, I've been writing the Doctor Who series for some time now. I've done the Doctor Who joins the NBA, Doctor Who goes to Mexico, Doctor Who solves gang violence in Baltimore, Doctor Who goes back in time and ends slavery, Doctor Who takes a person with leukemia to an alien planet where they have the cure for leukemia. Doctor Who goes to the cop planet, which is the planet where everyone's a cop, and that's kind of an issue that deals with the Blue Lives Matter phenomenon from just sort of an impartial, standpoint. But recently, I've been hired to do the the manga adaptation for Shonen Jump for Infinite Jest, and it's sort of, if you haven't read Infinite Jest, and it's a really long book, it's about as long as Moby Dick, I reckon.
Is it infinite? Just kidding.
So it really feels like it, but I myself could not read it. So I did talk to somebody for about 20 minutes about what the book's about. And it's basically about a tennis academy where some weird things happen.
Hey, maybe you guys could work together on this project.
Yeah, Arlen Spector could be the a character in the Infinite Jest, because I have taken some liberties.
Ronald Spector.
Ronald, yes. And
Phil Spector.
I'm thinking of
It's another famous
this
Spector.
manga series as
Casper?
sort of like Twin Peaks
Prospector.
for teenagers,
Free
because it's
Prospector.
about these two brothers, Hal, who's pretty brainy, and Mario, who's pretty sensitive, and they go solve mysteries involving ghosts. And then they have their father, who is kind of like the Magneto character of the story. And I was thinking about, I've recently been talking to the estate of the late Anton Yelchin, and I was thinking that in the manga, it might actually be Anton Yelchin playing their father.
Dick, I know I was just saying a second ago that maybe you could work on that project with Dusty, but I just had a new idea. I mean, I've already got my Hal and Candenza Funko Pop, and it made me think, what if in the manga adaptation he's a Funko, and he's bad at tennis because his head is so big?
I don't know if the manga artist will be able to draw that complicated of a thing.
I mean, I'll do the artwork too, if you'll just let me get my vision out there to people. I just need one big break.
I appreciate your hustling. As you may know, I got my start by just tweeting at people and being very positive. I think positivity works, but I am not in charge of the business aspect of this project. It is the estate of the late author, David
It's David Funko Wallace.
Right. Okay. So I've mostly been dealing with some lawyers, some kind of trust agreement. I'm not in charge of those decisions.
Oh, well, can you tell me why your idea is better than mine, if I may be so bold?
I think all ideas are equally good.
I think in order to have a property that features Funko Pops predominantly, you would have to get a lot of clearing and pay probably the Funko people in order to use their stuff.
Someone else
I
can
think
deal
it's
with
very
that.
interesting that aspiring creatives are looking towards already established properties to make their mark. And I did the same thing. The first thing I wrote was called Dick Goes to Hogwarts, and it was about myself going to Hogwarts as an adult. It was semi-autobiographical. It was based on the fact that I started college at age 26, and everyone was younger than me, but I still had a good time. And so the comic I wrote was about just me going and hanging out with Harry and Ron and Hermione. And again, I never read the Harry Potter books, but I was a fan of the iconography.
Yeah.
I was a fan
Well, it
of the
makes sense.
story.
J.K. Rowling said a couple years ago that they have adult learning classes at night at Hogwarts. So it's basically canon, it sounds like.
I wouldn't know. I never read the books. I don't know who you referenced.
Timmy, what is the stuff you've been working on?
This guy's a Hufflepuff for sure.
Timmy, I want to hear about your stuff, Tim.
You want to hear what I've been dipping my ink pen in? Let me tell you. Now, I was recently tasked with Nabisco with writing the 36-part novelization of the greater Leisure Suit Larry universe, as you may have heard of. And, Nabisco actually now owns that property, and they were excited to expand the lore of this thrilling franchise. And for those unfamiliar with the series, you play as the titular Leisure Suit Larry, who was this John Lovitz-looking gremlin fella who I believe, goes out into the world collecting condoms and committing a series of brazen sexual assaults. But, seeing as Leisure Suit Larry is now a Nabisco product, I do have to, throw in a few references there that the cookies and the like, and National Biscuit Company. And this poses a bit of an interesting challenge that I am more than willing to tackle. For instance, instead of condoms, Leisure Suit Larry is now interested in collecting Oreo cookies. And instead of harassing women, Leisure Suit Larry now harasses large packages of chewy chocolate chunk Chips Ahoy, available at your local retailer. But
how might you harass these, Timmy?
Oh, he goes into the store, he grabs them up, and says, "Hey, I'd like to put you in my mouth, honey." And
oh wow, that's a little,
it's a little saucy.
Do the cookies get jealous of one another? It seems like the cookies might get jealous of.
It's a little bit like Johnny Bravo for adults.
Ooh.
Johnny Bravo for adults, absolutely.
Hey, that's a good idea. I might take that.
Mama.
There's Johnny. Hello.
The gags
that's
you
what he
enjoyed
said.
as a child
every episode.
are just
Here's
as good
Johnny.
when you're adult. And I believe it is the ability to compose a strong, cohesive narrative while simultaneously being able to help Nabisco move their product that really just sort of constitutes the mark of a true writer, as a true creative.
I was tasked with they wanted me to write the official comic book for the Warren campaign recently, before it was shut down. And I stayed up all afternoon, one afternoon, and I had this whole idea about where did Elizabeth Warren come from? She came from out of the dirt. And she was sort of born, she was an earth spirit, but she was also sent here from aliens that planted her as an egg inside the dirt millions of years ago. So she was very old and very wise. And that's but I did not have anything about cookies in my Elizabeth Warren comic book.
Well, a lot of people will say stuff like, you can't mix corporate interest with like true art, and I disagree. I mean, my friend that runs the Steakums account, he is so inspirational. And he posts so many good things that it makes my little brain feel happy to read. And at the same time, he's pushing a very bland and salty steak product that you microwave primarily. And there's nothing wrong with pushing that type of stuff.
Well, they're good if you want to make a good Philadelphia cheesesteak. You just use some Steakums.
But I think that's a larger commentary on like what is our role as writers.
I would just interject there for a moment that the Steakums Funko Pop is a much more hearty product. It's much more meaty and rich because of how fat the head of that Steakums is. I think it would actually be more delicious to just eat the figure than it would be to eat the product.
Absolutely. It's absolutely more edible than the actual product. And you know, Liz Warren, she lost because she was able to stand up. She said, "I refuse to be a slave to the white man." And they weren't ready to hear. America wasn't ready to hear such a radical message. You know?
That's right. And we'd be in a much better position.
Reminds
with
me
her.
of my comic book where Doctor Who goes back in time and ends slavery, because for so many years, as we all know, in real life, slaves were just sort of believed that they, it's kind of like they had a self-esteem problem. And then Doctor Who, who's the British man, played by the late Anton Yelchin, shows up and he says, "We're not going to take it anymore." And he kind of becomes the greatest slave of all time and makes it so that Abraham Lincoln is born.
That's true. That is true. And that's great. I've been kind of grappling with a lot of feelings of what is the role of comic books nowadays, right? People think of comic books, they think of zitty, sweaty, good old-fashioned nerds with some duct tape holding their glasses together. And that's
Mega
not
Tokyo
true.
is a good comic.
That stereotype is just not true anymore.
Classic.
Everyone in this room is a cool guy.
As someone who pitches a lot of scripts to people who will never even open the email, I think that the comic book is basically a pitch to the reader, but really to the Hollywood production company that this should be a movie, right? Comic books are movie pitches. So once you get that comic book deal, that's really just a deal to make a pitch to the people and to the movie studios. This should be a fucking movie.
So I've been wrestling with these feelings of what do I want direction my comics to make, right? I am a 42-year-old white man, and I don't want to just tell stories for old white guys anymore. I want to tell stories for people. I don't know any teenagers, right? Personally, I haven't communicated or even observed any of their culture in the last 20 years. So it's tough. So I'm going to go to Marvel and I'm saying, hey, I'm going to make a teenage super team. And middle America is going to lose their fucking minds. Pardon my French. So I wanted to kind of premiere this on this podcast that I have been assigned to be the new head writer for the comic series, The New Bastards.
Oh my god!
The new bastard.
That is edgy. That is sufficiently edgy for.
I'm taking over the New Bastards. Yeah, and we got a whole new team, a whole new crew of bastards.
Roland.
Oh,
you got on board for that. Animated series. You know who I'm playing.
Well, I got my team, so I'm going to tell you my team here, Dusty, and I'm going to ask you, what do you think they sound like? Are you ready for that?
Give me a name, and I'll
All right. So first up in the New Bastards, we have Edgy, a super-powered teenage boy that gets his powers from complaining and whining. When he complains and he whines, he's able to make the same thing he's complaining about feel in the other people. If the Edgy says, "My back hurts," or my back hurts, then all of the bad guys, their backs are going to start hurting. If he says, "I only got 6 hours of sleep last night, I'm tired," then all the supervillains are going to get tired. He's got this great ability to project his feelings through complaining that really attach to people. Because if you look at teenagers nowadays, it's their favorite thing to do. It's their favorite thing to do. I cruised all through social media, and they're mad about this, and this sucks, and I'm depressed. And Edgy is able to project that onto everyone else. So, Dusty, give me your Edgy.
Okay, this is Edgy. He's a loner, right? He's a teenage high schooler.
Yeah, you could imagine
brooding,
brooding, in a gray tight superhero outfit, but maybe with something that's just a little him, like some big black combat boots.
I always knew I was different. I could feel it. I could see it. I don't play sports because I have a stomach ache that never goes away.
Oh,
That's
chills down my spine. Chills down
freaking
my spine.
epic. What do you guys
I
think?
was really talking to a teenager.
That was badass.
Thank you.
Dusty. Yeah, no, that was sweet. I'm excited about this. I was worried a little bit about J. You know, it's hard to relate to teenagers, and I'm like a big social media guy, and I'm like, the teens are doing great. Like, look at these TikToks. The teens got it. The teens are leftist. They're passionate. Like, hey guys, we're gonna be okay. I'm kind of like one of those old men on social media that's obsessed with teenagers, but in a way that makes them seem really positive and profound, and makes me seem like I'm one of the good old people.
Yeah. I have a
Well, you
huge
can't really-
folder of teenagers' selfies right on my desktop in case I decide to start drawing. Because I am a writer, I'm not an artist, but if I decided to start drawing, first thing I would do is draw these teenagers because I think they're so inspiring. They kind of teach me how to be a teenager of my late 30s.
You can't ignore the toxic side, though, of social media. I mean,
Oh yeah.
you know, the reveal trailer of my latest project currently is sitting at a dislike ratio of 98% to 2, which is not great, you know.
Yeah.
But it's mostly, you know, these trolls out there. They brigade my videos, and you know these trolls. Oh, these trolls, be gone, trolls, be gone. You shall not pass.
Timmy, you are very vocal in your dislike of trolls. You have often said that they should buzz off, that they should get out of here.
These trolls, yeah, I've dealt with them for quite some time. They've come on here. They've called me limp dick. They call me diaper tard, pussy bean, power cock, penis face, bottom bitch, suck mouth, cock grunt, fail fucker, hootie boy, wiener nut,
Hootie boy.
It's not funny. You know, they call me porch honky.
Apologize. I've never heard that word.
They call me McLovin's dad. They call me bad writer. They call me urethra goblin. They call me fart grabber, Schrodinger's cunt, barn humper, cum smoker, freak of the week, incest dad, octo mom, swamp teen, birthday cake eater, wet dick, dry dick, doorknob dick, drizzle dick, Drano dick, Dunkin' dick nuts, Krispy Kreme molester, soulless, beady-eyed waste of oxygen, fucking overpaid, overcompensated, nearly universally hated idiot, bloated, despised oaf, Mpreg Charles Nelson Riley, pumpkin brain, toilet raper, barfed up hairball fucker, a disrespectful cartoon of a man's genitals, Popeye the Sailor Man's aborted fetus, and sperm wad. And you know, it's just a shame that we let these people come on here and we can't just like round these guys all up into camps and take away their internet access and stop them from spreading this like brand of hatred that's toxicity.
I gotta say, a lot of those insults could be good characters, Roland, for what you're working on.
Well, you know,
Like, it seems like a good way to own those.
I really disagree. I don't think I want to have any of those things, and I just want to apologize.
In my experience, the thing with trolls is if they call you something like a toilet raper, you should just play into it and say, "Yeah, I rape toilets."
I don't know if that's the right thing to do. I think the best thing to do is post that.
If I hear
image of
someone
the
that,
troll
if I hear someone say that, I'm gonna say, "Screw you guys, I'm going home."
Eric, hello, Eric. Hey, welcome to the show, Eric.
Oh,
Hello,
there
welcome
he
to the
is.
show, Eric. There he is, the famous cart man.
Don't have a. Sorry. Fuck.
No, we'll
Sorry.
wait. We'll be fine. We'll wait.
Hey, don't have a cow, man.
There he is, Bard Simpson.
Ooh, the bad boy himself.
I've never done an impression before, but can you guess who this is?
Is it
Oh, a dog that got hurt.
a dog? Is that hurt?
I got the hoodie.
He's E.T.
No.
He's E.T.
No, think about
and
Eric,
he's E.T.
think about Eric Cartman again. No, sorry, I
you're
can't close this hoodie more. My headphones are gonna fall
Steven
off.
That's not a good impression of Eric Cartman. It seems more like a dog.
No,
that
it's not
got
Eric
hurt.
Cartman. What's his name of his friend?
Kyle.
Stewie Griffin.
No, what's the other one?
Bart Simpson.
Imagine my head's getting cut off by something
They
funny.
killed Benny.
Oh,
It's Benny. It's Benny.
Oh, it's Benny.
Holy crap!
Oh.
They killed Benny.
Real quick, while we
What's
get
Cartman?
too sidetracked, I really want to just have a powerful emotional moment with
Holy
Timmy,
crap, Marge!
and just let Timmy know you don't deserve that abuse. you matter. Your work is important, and if people don't like it, they can just go kiss their own butt ass and stink it up and suck it. So
That's
fuck
right.
them.
I just say, fuck them, forget about them. I'll just have my coffee, aka brain juice, and leave me to my own devices.
As a younger writer,
Some of my
who's really getting
devices
started
are things
here.
like the Nintendo Switch.
Oh, I know that.
absolutely.
I have one of those. But I'm wondering, as a younger writer, how do you guys get in that creative zone where you're going to write a classic?
I
How
have
does
the
a guy like
special
me-
Cat Dog edition of Nintendo Switch with the famous cartoon character Cat Dog imprinted right on the case.
Oh man, I can't remember any lines that they'd say. I know that show though, Nickelodeon. I know I can't do an impression of them because I haven't done that one yet. Sorry.
Maybe you could YouTube it after the show.
A good way to
Yeah,
get
give
into
it a-
the
give it a
creative
look.
zone
No, it
is,
wouldn't matter. No,
I
the
watch a lot of television. So, for example, in the comic book of Doctor Who, where he becomes 4 feet tall, that I wrote, what I was doing was I was thinking about Doctor Who is, of course, some kind of British person, and I was watching television, and I saw a man on television, and he was 4 feet tall, and I said, "What if that was Doctor Who?"
That is the creative process boiled down there. Just a moment of inspiration. Do you guys mind? I was trying to leak a new thing to build up some buzz. If we go back to my superhero team, the New Bastards.
My apologies.
Right.
The discussion
Sure.
sweeps us away.
So we have NJ, who gets his powers from complaining. And then we were talking about the trolls, the unsavory element. No one's going to pretend the teens are a monolith. So we have to have an edgy alt-right teen. And this one is another teen boy, and his superhero name is Second Amendment. And his superpower is that he has a handgun that he can shoot from his car. So while they're fighting and doing this, he's driving around. It's a Prius. And he rolls down the window. It's a crank. So he's got to roll down. He blah, blah, blah. So he's kind of like the hothead, the young gun on the team that, can be a little bit problematic. And let me tell you this. He's going to bump heads with some of the more socialist-leaning members of the New Bastards. Dusty, you mind giving us a little preview of that voice?
I'm thinking I have it.
Okay.
So Second Amendment, young guy. Car, gun, easy. But that's not all there is. There's a lot of built up, angst, a little anger. He's mad at the system. Well, I don't need anything but my country and this here gun. And you're gonna die right now. You understand me? I'm gonna kill you. Then he honks his horn 3 times.
Yes, he should always honk his horn 3 times before shooting the gun. That was beautiful.
That was
Dusty?
amazing.
Bravo.
That kind
Bravo.
of made me wonder, what if Harry Potter had a gun?
Ooh. That book series might be a little shorter, if you know what I mean.
I can't quite figure out what this is. I believe it's a gun.
Is that like a...
That's Harry Potter. Dobby.
Oh, okay.
I was going to say it sounds
Dobby,
like
here's a gun, Dobby.
man,
I'm
a
Harry
man from
Potter.
India.
Yeah, I thought that was like New Delhi Harry Potter there. That's what you're going for. No, but it's
Dobby,
fine.
here's the gun, Dobby. Take the gun and shoot Snape.
Pretty good. Those are all characters in Harry Potter. I recognize that. Harry fucking Potter. How about that?
The gay guy has a gun.
Gandalf.
No, he's
Khadgar.
Dusseldorf.
Medivh. Yes, Dusseldorf. Okay.
Dusseldorf, the wizard, the
All right.
gay guy wizard. He was also in Lord of the Rings because he's gay in real life.
That's what's up.
I'm a nerd. I know my fandom stuff.
If you look at Wikipedia,
you think you're a nerd?
Is also
Oh, there it is. An original copy.
read them and
Original
yeah,
copy.
first edition right here. They
Hey,
put out
I'll-
the paperback first, then they came back and did the hardcover.
I won't read it and weep. I'll read it and smile.
I Absolutely.
It's true. We can all use more smiles
Absolutely.
in these trying times.
All right, moving on to the third member of the New Bastards. We got Mr. Pleasure. Now, Mr. Pleasure is a superhero, a teenage boy who gets this form of superpowered happiness from the pills he takes. He's got this magic bottle of pills and he takes them and he feels wonderful and he lays down and just is beyond happy. And he's been working with the New Bastards as a very positive guy.
Happiness is actually a radical. Radical self-love is the most powerful enemy against people who are mean to you.
Well, that's what Mr. Pleasure thinks. So whenever things starts getting if he ever feels a little bit anxious, or if he ever feels like maybe his life didn't turn out like he planned, he will open those magic pills. He will take a couple, and then he's going to get this raging, powerful, supernatural happiness.
I have
He's
recently
like
been
a
working
fantastic
on-
hedonist.
Exactly.
I have recently been working on a series with Lin-Manuel Miranda, where every day we trace our hands like this. We just trace them.
Why are you
and
so
then
green?
And then we do a smile. Excuse me?
I'm looking at your camera and you just look kind of green.
I'm on a calorie
green.
surplus diet. So every day I eat 7,000 calories and they all come from spinach.
Oh, wow. Well,
Interesting.
you're glowing.
So you can buy this
literally.
book. It's
So
gonna
you're
be,
looking a little bit like you're looking. All right, I'll give it to you. Hold on. Like, sorry.
All right, focus.
Eating your vegetables, you are.
Oh!
How's that?
The
That's pretty
master.
good. The master
What is
at
that?
work as Yoder.
Oh,
Yeah, have you seen
never-
Star Wars
I've
Episode
never
4
seen the
and 5
Yoda
and 6?
movies,
Well,
but I
Well, that wasn't Yoda. That was my idea of Baby Yoda. What he would say if he said stuff.
I'm a
If he
huge
got-
fan
okay.
of the Star Wars merchandise and the lore, and I think the story is incredible about a young homeless man who eventually becomes the king of the universe. But as I was saying, this book will have each of our hands and a little smiley face, and then it will have a little poem underneath each hand. And the poem will be about 4 words long.
Like,
It'll be about $49.99.
have a
Can you drop us
drink.
One of the
of-
poems.
Radical self-love. Good.
Ooh,
Good.
that is 4 words. I can't
4
wait.
words.
I really imagine rolling out of bed in the morning and whipping that book open and just.
It's like
Smiling.
a haiku, but even smaller.
All right, moving along. We have the 4th member of the New Bastards, which is a dual personality superhero, the classic, the juggernaut sort of the New Bastards. And when they're in their normal human state, they're known as Friend Zone. Friend Zone is a teenage boy, the transformative ability, but his alter ego is named Simp. And when he gets really horny, he turns into Simp. And Simp is very powerful and can fight, but the other members of the New Bastards find that Simp is a little aggressive and problematic. So there's going to be a lot of tension built in with Friendzone and Simp. They don't want Simp to transform to fight, but when he does, he ends up being so horny that it creates a problem for
Here's
the
the
New
thing: is
Bastard.
I'm worried about with Simp. Is that if he simps too hard, he just might take the L.
Ooh, that's a
Don't
big
want that to
risk.
happen. Don't want
Simp
that
might
to happen,
take
but
the
it just
L if he
might.
gets to-
Oh.
And it
No
might
one
be
will
crazy.
For anything? Does that mean anything?
You don't want to take the L. Mm-mm.
Mm.
And it doesn't stand for legend. Wait for it.
Legendary.
Dairy. So it stands for a loss, and you don't want to take that.
What does Simp
Yikes.
stand for? What is that?
You want to know? Oh, aren't you beautiful? We killed the Batman. You want to know how I got these scars?
Oh, there he
I
is.
took too many L's. And I'm the Joker.
Oh, it's Superman. That's it.
No, that's Batman, I think.
No,
That
I
freaked you
thought that
out?
was
I'm
Superman.
sorry if that freaked you out. I know it's a
I
little.
did get a little scared.
I appreciate the idea of having a character
upsetting.
named Friend Zone, but there are people that have PTSD from being in the friend zone.
That's true, and hopefully we can address some of that here. But I also feel like
friends. I think it's a good thing to be like. Is there an enemy zone?
I don't want to be in that.
I don't want to be there.
I don't want to be there.
Me don't want to be there, Mr. Qui-Gon.
Is that Jar Jar Binks?
Oh, it's Baby Yoda again.
Is it?
It's Borat, the famous black guy. Ali G plays a black guy, and he becomes Borat.
Cheers for a cookie. That's good enough for me.
Sesame Street.
Sesame
then
Street.
you got Elmo. Elmo's like,
No.
I'm here! I'm Elmo! I love my friends!
Dude, that's smart and funny. Like that's.
I don't want to do this anymore. All right, let's move on to the last member of the New Bastards here, Gina. Now, the leader of the New Bastards, and guess what? I went into Marvel and I was pitching her, and I'm like, this is going to be Middle America's worth fucking. Oh yeah.
Oh boy.
Gina is a teenage girl, and she has the superpower to question everything, even her own sexuality, regularly, frequently, constantly bringing it up when no one's even asking. And this questionability gives her kind of like the Scarlet Witch power to change reality just by questioning it. It kind of, I was inspired by Elizabeth Warren, who shed a lot of light on a lot of problems and got them to change because of her great plans. Gina is kind of like a logical extent of that. Middle America is going to hate her because they're going to say, like, a woman leader? And I'm like, you're a flyover state and a loser. Because guess what? The female future is tomorrow, and we're just living in it.
Absolutely. I wrote a Doctor Who comic book where
Indeed.
Doctor Who, as played by the late Anton Yelchin, turns into a Russian female girl and explores her sexuality with a number of other Russian female girls. Now, this is one of the Doctor Who comics that was not published, unfortunately, but if you PayPal me some money, I will make sure that you get the PDF.
Sounds like a steal. Dusty.
Yeah, Liz Warren famously had the ability to change her race on a whim, on like a chameleon would, and this was like a superpower in a way.
That's right.
You know,
Like
Just,
some kind of lizard, which is,
That's right.
yeah.
of course, a good thing.
I want to kind of, if you'd let me, maybe plug a little bit of the next thing I'm going to be working on here.
Let's go. Let's hear some stuff. I'm
We got
ready.
this in the pipeline, a graphic novelization of Comedy Central's The Man Show.
Ooh.
And, you know, in this radical reimagining of the popular series, we join our new host, Sabretooth, an Intuit man of color with 16-inch fangs protruding from his mouth, and Chaos Wind, a 26-year-old woman who is blind with cataracts. You know, to prove to the more ignorant members of our audience that you can get cataracts no matter what age you are, really. And for fans of the original, you know, rest assured that Carolla and Kimmel, the original hosts, they do make an appearance.
Are they
in the
executive
form of-
producers or something? Or
They make an appearance in the form of spirit guides that, you know, help lead the latest generation of Man Show hosts to fame and success. And now I can also say that I believe this graphic novelization will cut down significantly on the sexual undertones that I kind of believe, you know, bogged down the potential of the original run.
No, I think that sounds amazing. When is this going to hit some shelves? I got my wallet
There's this
open already.
idea that in order to be considered a man, you have to be capable of achieving and sustaining an erection.
It's simply not true.
That's not true at all. No.
Anybody
you can use
can.
your finger.
but you need some voices on there.
Oh yeah, can you do a few Man Show voices? Maybe do the voice of Chaos Wind, the woman with the cataracts.
Well, I can do that. I could do like Adam Carolla.
Okay. No, it's okay. You want to do the much easier impression?
Well, I mean, if you're going to say that way, then
I'm just
maybe I'll just
teasing. I'm
refrain.
sorry.
Maybe I'll just refrain from that.
You know what? I've got a lot of learning to do about, you know, my attitude and behavior.
Why do these bitches always gotta be shopping so much? There's always so much shit they gotta buy. They're like, why do you need all this fucking makeup for? You look fucking fine without it. You gotta look like a fucking clown too on top of it. You dumb bitch.
Gilbert Godfrey, the pelican from
I thought that was Uncut Gems you were doing there.
Hey, Patrick, let's go buy this Squidward.
Oh, there! I know that one. That's SpongeBob. He's on a popsicle. Are you done with the impressions? I thought you were just.
Well, I don't know how many you want me to do.
Well,
me, Gollum. The One Ring is mine.
Oh, I get that one.
Oh, Gilbert Godfrey yet again.
I think that was Gilbert. I'm not quite sure.
Holy
From the
freaking
famous
crap,
movie
Lois! It's Gollum. He's
Let
here
me-
for the One Ring.
Let me ask you
It's,
guys.
the Governor, Arnold Schwarzenegger.
I think so. Let me ask you guys. All right, so we take our craft very seriously, but we're also fans. So let's hear, what is everybody really geeking out on lately? Any takers?
I've been binging. I mean, I've been watching every season of Sesame Street since it premiered. That's why I was on the Elmo thing. You know?
Yeah,
Dude, you must be really good at the alphabet at this point, man.
I'm Elmo.
Oh, that one's Elmo.
Like, I've been watching it.
I like it when you do the impressions where you just say the name, because then it's easy to guess.
So
what they
people
are.
know who it is.
Yeah.
Because they're like, oh, I've heard that before. What is that from? And then, like I said, they're like, and then they're looped in, and then they're in my circle. They're in my circle with me, enjoying all.
I downloaded this special cut of Game of Thrones that gets rid of all the incest. It's a lot shorter, but I find it's more pleasant. Because incest is, I don't know how you guys feel about incest, but it's kind of icky to me. Like, let's leave the incest to Pornhub.
What is that?
It's when a mother or a sister or a brother even or a father, they do it with, they make a little bit of the horizontal fun time with each other.
Oh,
Now, I wrote a comic book.
So we're
starring
talking like
Doctor Who that deals
TVM.
with
We're
this
talking like
issue.
TVM rating.
Oh yeah.
Doctor Who, of course, can transform into different shapes, and he accidentally discovers his long-lost sister when he has turned himself into a penis and has sex with his sister's vagina.
What was that was the whole episode or the whole comic? You just
Sorry. It was just a picture. It was a picture I commissioned from a man off of Patreon.
you just bought you just bought a picture, you paid for a guy to paint a picture.
And it has his little Doctor Who hat on the balls of the penis sticking out of his sister, and you can tell it's his sister because it says above it, they wrote the words Doctor Who's sister.
Okay, I'm not really quite sure, like, were you trying to prove a point, or is that like a society thing?
It's kind of like one of these issues that we're talking about right now.
Like,
You
which
know,
one?
how about this? How about this, though? Listen to this one. Dear me, after entering the TARDIS, I do believe we've traveled to a different state and time. Who's that?
Oh, Cat Dog. You got it, dude. I knew you could get it.
Is
man.
it Cat Dog?
Nailed it.
Is it
Nailed
Funko? Is it Funko Doctor Who?
Yeah, I've been searching for that Funko Cat Dog because it's the only one with 2 heads. It's probably one of the rarest ones there is.
So, let me get back to Chespin, because what do you dream of happening with the Funko stuff? Because I say you've been working on it
speaking
for
of
a very
Funko
long
Cat
time.
Dog, I mean, that's something that's a dream to me. I mean, that's 2 properties in one.
How is
right?
it-
I mean, they're probably going to pay me twice as much to write.
How is that
if I do
different
it.
from like the Lego Star Wars or Lego Batman? Like I'm
Well, I would say that a Lego is a different thing than a Funko, right? Their heads are actually kind of small.
yeah,
I
but
want,
like
I want to
even-
like.
can you
I
take
want-
Funkos apart?
I mean, with a knife you could, but I don't think it's really about that. It's more like engaging people in a different medium, you know? Like, you got a comic book and then you got a movie. You got a Funko and then you got it's a different medium. It's a whole different way to experience the brands you love. The
I
property.
want to know how I got these bricks.
Is that Lego Joker?
Yes,
Dude,
got
that's sick. That sounds so different from you. It's amazing. That sounds so different from your regular Joker.
Oh my god.
Thank you.
To me, Mark Hamill is the Joker. I like that guy because of his.
I'm the Joker.
There
That's
he
the Mark
is.
Hamill Joker.
All right, can you give us a little bit of your Superman?
This planet doesn't want me, but it needs me.
That's amazing.
That's Christopher.
Do you have any
Reeve.
other
Sounds just like
After
him.
he fell off the horse.
Yeah,
any
you
other
guys-
requests?
Well, I know that Timmy was working on this, so give us your best Leisure Suit Larry.
It's important to show that disabled people can also be Superman.
That's true.
Yeah. Well, Leisure Suit Larry, he doesn't have a voice really. The voice is more in the head of the the viewer, the
He doesn't
person
have a voice.
experiencing the
So you
game.
want me to give like an idea?
Yeah.
Okay.
I need to there.
It's a lot like your Cartman.
I want screw, man. I'm Lisa Sue Larry. I'm nasty, but I get the babes. You know what I'm saying?
No, that's a misrepresentation. I'd say. I don't think he doesn't have. To
I
sound
mean,
that
I was kind
nasty.
of like going. I was kind of
Is
like
that like the
going
movie
different
where
with it.
Tracy Morgan plays Leisure Suit
I take
Larry?
offense to that sort of thing.
How so?
Pick something else. Like he doesn't have a voice. I don't have a reference point.
Let's do the famous Warcraft movie. Go ahead and give me your best Luther. King Luther. Or Uther or whatever. I don't fucking remember.
Where's my son?
Ooh,
I thought he was going to be
son.
British. If his name is King Luther,
I need to help my son.
isn't a
seen
king a
Warcraft
British
movie.
thing?
Can you give us an orc?
My people. I must
What
save my
if
people.
Martin Luther King was white and played by the late Anton Yelchin?
Yeah, let's give us your best white Martha. Okay, I think that's about good. I think that's about good. This has been the first episode of Limited Edition. I'd like to thank my guests so much for showing up. We really were able to talk about the fandom, writing, and all this stuff. Just really thankful for you guys coming. Any last words, anybody?
It was great to be here. Yeah,
I've got to say, this
the other
episode
night-
itself was a limited edition. One of a kind.
Well, if we
epic.
print it on vinyl, we might. Sorry.
It was an ass kicker all the way. And the other night, I had a rather disconcerting dream. I was wandering through a desolate wasteland with no signs of life to be found. An inescapable permeance of sadness floating in the air, perhaps the site of a great war from which nobody emerged victorious. I wandered for what felt like years, trapped in this endless loop of oblivion, until I collapsed from exhaustion, ready to die then and there. And it was then that I looked up, and who should I see before me but the Marvel Cinematic Universe's most recent iteration of the mighty Thor, holding his famous hammer that he uses to clobber villains. I said, "Oh great and mighty Thor, please guide my path. I'm lost and in need of solace. Please help me find my way home." And he looked at me. He looked at me with tears in his eyes. And he said this. He said, please stop fucking writing shit. Everything you write is fucking terrible. It sucks so much. All this terrible shit you write is as harmful to the average person's mind as a brain injury. You are actively making the world a worse place by lowering the standards across the board. I'm begging you to please put down the pen and find some other hobby for dumb rich guys instead of dragging the whole literary world behind you into the toilet. And it was weird. And then he morphed into Wonder Woman and kissed me.
What if Doctor Who had a gun that transformed teenagers into legal age for sex?
All right,
Wow.
this is
All right.
good. Roland Girlmouth, represent Chespin, Dusty, Timmy, and Dick. We will see you guys next week
Hey,
on
try to get
Limited.
this one.
I'm not wearing hockey pads.
All right, see you guys later.
What about this impression?
Have a good one. What's that?